Okay, so I'm going to show you guys how to use those bumpers that I've created for you. I've loaded up Vegas here, and I don't have anything on it. You got to remember that I am in the Explorer, so I can browse my computer for files, and I happen to already be in the folder that I had saved the bumpers to right here. So we're going to drag those in there just by clicking and dragging, and you'll see these little boxes appear and things kind of snap around. What it's doing is it's showing you which tracks it's going to put the audio and the video. You have 6 tracks, 3 with video, 3 with audio. You can add more. I really don't know if you're going to need to in the long run. But what I like to do is take these tracks, put it right on top of each other, so you unclick when you get them there, and then just drag it all the way to the back. And that's the intro, which you have seen. And then we have an outro as well, which I'm going to drag over to here. And let's say we are going to make a roughly 30-second video. It'll ask you an audio proxy, just click OK. That doesn't matter. And so now we have our bumpers. Good, I got the one with Facebook. And a big space in the middle where we're actually going to put our footage. So here's the way I like to edit footage. What you do is you go to it, and I have Saturday, which is Joe's Boat, as well as Kids Derby stuff. And you want to use your Explorer and sort by name. And that means that as you pull in clips, you can pull them in chronological order, which is really handy if you're the one who shot them, so you don't have to go searching for something that you know you shot this one first or this one later. So this also has JPEGs in it. I'm not going to worry about it. I'm just going to grab all the video, scrolling all the way down, and I'm hitting Shift, and I'm clicking again, which selects all of them. And I'm going to go all the way back up, and we can see that it's in sequential order because we got 28, 29, 30, 31, 32. And we're going to just drag all those videos in there. And sometimes you have to hold after you've placed your mouse on a track, and you'll see those little boxes appear. And once you see them, you can unclick. And sometimes this takes a little bit for the computer. And that is all the footage that I shot that day for the Derby stuff. So another thing I should probably tell you is these little SFK files are audio reference files for Vegas. You don't need to worry about them. If you pull them in, they don't really do anything. And the way I did is I just selected it and ignored those. So now we have all this footage that we can choose from all through the timeline. And don't forget, in order to zoom in and out on your timeline, in order to see some of these clips better, you can just use your scroll wheel. So as I scroll up, it's going to zoom in on this cursor that you can just click anywhere around in the timeline. So that really helps for zooming in and out and getting to footage getting through your footage quickly. So if you zoom out, you see the entire thing, and you can be like, oh, look, there's an interview over here. And zoom in. And zoom out. And zoom in. So after you shoot your footage, you should drop it all on the timeline like this. You probably won't have nearly as much as I took, because I was also shooting for advertising. But in order to then edit it, you would go in, and you'd be like, let's see. I know there's a shot here of a little girl who slides down the slide, or it might have been previous. Where is it? Wait, here it is. It's the next one. I'm just clicking and dragging and moving my mouse in order to see this. And it goes frame by frame so I can see. So I'm going to click there. And I'm just going to take this one clip of her going down the slide. And so now that what I've done, let me explain that a little bit better. Is I got to the end point that I wanted. I hit, make sure this is selected. We're just going to do that over. This is the clip. And so I can go in, I can even use my arrow keys to even fine-tune it more. And I can hit S when I have it right where I want it. And I've got this clip selected. I can hit S, and it'll split it. And I can do the same thing at the other end. Hit S, and bam. You've got your clip. And you can do this with shortcuts, but you can go edit, cut. This is the way I like to edit. I zoom all the way back out. I go over to where my bumpers are. I click on a track, because these are all your different tracks, and you can choose which one you want to paste this clip onto by just clicking here. Or you can click here too, and it'll switch that. So then you go edit, paste, and bam, we have our first clip in our video. So the way these bumpers work is there is footage all the way up until about this music beat. So you just put your video right over it. And so now when we press play, I'm going to go draft. I'm going to change the quality so it plays a little bit smoother. You can play with those in order to see what your edit is going to look like. And hit spacebar. And you'll see that her clip starts as soon as that music hits. And that's where the video on the bumper stops. So that's good. So it's a little bit bland. I think we should probably add some voiceover. And I had already recorded a piece. That happens to be right here. I can drag it in just like footage. I bring it right in here. And my recorder only records on one channel. So I'm going to combine them here. And the other thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go properties. I'm going to normalize it. It's going to boost it by 3 decibels. You should know that. You're in radio. And so if I need to trim out this spot. So if I put my cursor right over here and click and drag, it trims it out. And it doesn't delete it, it just doesn't show it. So I can bring it back, but I'm going to pump it right back there and move this over. Now what we get is this.
The 2012 Kids Derby was full of fish, fun, and prizes this year.
So now we have a whole bunch of extra shots we got to fill out. And what I'll do over time is go in and be like, oh, we were talking about Theron Lee, and I know I got a clip of him being interviewed by Lori. Oh, here it is. Okay, excellent. So I click where I want the in and out points, S, and roughly there. I know it's going to be roughly that long. I'm going to click on the clip, cut it from there. That also helps me so I don't use duplicate clips. And paste it in there. You can use keyboard shortcuts. And then I can kind of drag it around and see what I like here.
12 Kids Derby was full of fish, fun, and prizes this year. Theron Lee walked away as the grand prize winner with the 7th.
So, and that's kind of basics of editing. If I want to shorten this clip, or if I realize that I didn't have my in and out points quite right, all I do is I click and drag until I reach the frame that I actually want it to start. Or if you just want to shorten a clip, you can do that as well. So music is just like this. If I wanted to add music, I happen to have some. Let's go into it. External. Ooh, wrong hard drive. My book. And drive H. These are pretty much the same music tracks that I gave you. Production music and stack tracks. And I tend to like country just for videos like this because it's fun. And I have all these tracks here. What I'm going to do is I'm going to click this so it auto previews the whatever I highlight in here. It's kind of bluesy. It's not bad. I'm just going to add it so we can kind of see how it works. Drop it in there and bam, now we have music. So, if we listen to it.
The 2012 Kids Derby was full of fish, fun, and prizes this year. Theron Lee walked away as the grand prize winner with the 7.92 pounds.
Okay, obviously the music starts overpowering my voice, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to take down the music. There's 2 ways to do that. Go to the top of it and it changes to this little gain thing and you can lower the volume, or you can go over here and do it as well. And if you want to add a crossfade for it, you can do this. You know, crossfade it in and out. That little arc tells you how your crossfade's doing. So to give you an idea of that, I can do this. And then I'm going to lower the music down by about, let's say, 16 decibels.
The 2012 Kids Derby was full of fish, fun, and prizes this year. Theron Lee walked away as the grand prize winner with the 7.92 pound catch.
And that's pretty much it. Then you can put new clips in through here by using the same techniques. You just zoom way out with the scroll wheel. You go to a clip that you want, and you kind of search through the timeline by clicking around. You can also scrub through and do this and just it'll push and pull it. It's kind of like Word or any sort of word processing program that way. Here's some cotton candy. Oh, that could be fun. So let me just grab this by pressing S and this by pressing S, and you'll see that it's cut the audio here too. And then I'm gonna cut it by going Control X, and that's fine that it took the audio. I'll show you what to do with that. And I'm gonna click right up to where I want it. I'm gonna hit Control V, which is paste, and it created a new audio track, and that's okay. what I'm just going to do is I'm going to use this button right here to mute it, so that way any sort of audio doesn't distract from the voiceover I have going right here.
So we're ingesting some of the...
So then let's take a look at the end of the bumper. So what I'm going to do is make a fake ending just by moving this clip over. This clip's pretty long, so I'm going to shorten it down. You can see I zoomed in just to see the kids real quick. And what you do is you take your bumper and you just clunk, put it right up to where you want your video to end. And if you look at this music, it's too long. So I'm just going to trim it back, and then I'm just going to put a nice fade on it. And I'm even going to overlap them just a little bit. So what we have now is this.
Valdez Kids Derby, and we hope you'll join us next year for even more fun.
And that works pretty well. So now everything else is you just build out the missing space in between here, so that way you got more clips. I mean, what I would recommend doing is doing a voiceover first and then editing to your voiceover. And one last thing to do is to show you how to actually render your video out. So I'm going to just throw in a random clip here of this fish because it happens to be the whole length of the video. And one thing to note are these little yellow toggles up here. You'll see it kind of went off the edge of the screen here. But what you got to do is highlight your video. And so we know the clip ends here. So you can click and you'll see a blue line. That means it's going to snap to. And you just drag this way until you have your whole video selected. And if you have a longer video, just zoom out more and you can click and drag this whole area. So just click and drag over the part that you want in your final video, because this yellow tick mark to this yellow tick mark with this gray bar indicates the video render loop, meaning when you actually make a file off of it, you need this in order to make sure you don't render out your entire timeline. It's only going to make a video from here to here. So then you just go Project, Render As. This part's pretty easy. It looks complicated, but it's pretty easy. It gives you all these options. This is where it'll save to. I'm actually just going to save it to my desktop. And then I'm going to go down here. I'm going to go to Windows Media. And these are all the different options for WMV files. This is primarily what I think you're going to want to deal with. Just ignore all these other options you have on here unless you want to make an MP3 of something, but you have radio equipment to do all that with. So just click on the WMV, and the one you want to pick is this right here. 6.4 megabits HD 1080 24p. This is the best I've found for uploading to YouTube. You can even star it if you want, and then when you go show favorites only, it'll just show you that one. So then click render. Then I want to title it first, Kids Derby Test. And then you click render, and it'll render out just from this tick mark to this tick mark, and it'll take a little bit of time. So just go eat a sandwich or something. And next I'll show you how to actually upload that video to YouTube and the tagging for it and everything like that. But that'll be a separate upload. If you have any questions on the Vegas stuff, just let me know, and I can usually just spout it off the top of my head.